It's very outgoing and free.
You think of this ballet as being very colorful.
It's very Spanish. There's more of like a little flair.
Don Quixote originated in Russia in the early 1800s. It didn't make its way over to the West until around 1940. So it's a fairly new ballet to the rest of the world. The first act is very live and vibrant, very colorful, and it's a street scene. And it sets up all the characters. Quixote and Basilio, their relationship, you know, he's trying to court her, and her father wants nothing to do with it because he's a poor barber. And Gamache enters the scene. He's very flamboyant, very wealthy, and he has his eye on Quixote. So he asks the father for permission to marry Quixote, and the father is very excited about this opportunity, and Quixote absolutely wants nothing to do with it.
Zero.
Then the Toreadors, which at that time they're like the stars, the NFL players of their day, and they enter, and it's very entertaining. The town is very excited. The Toreadors have arrived, and there's the whole street dancer scene. Then enters Don Quixote with Sancho Panza. Don Quixote is on a conquest to be very chivalrous to ladies in distress, to save everybody and help everybody. And he also reads a lot about Dulcinea, and he's searching for that she's the most beautiful woman in the world. And as he comes across this town, he sees Quixote, and he believes that she is put on this earth as a human in disguise, but she's really Dulcinea. And he tries to win her charm over and takes her and does a minuet with her. And she's a little bit charmed, but she's always flirting with Basilio and trying to give him a hard time. And so they escape, and they run away, and opens the second act, and they're in the gypsy camp. And Don Quixote starts having visions and sees a windmill and thinks that it's a giant monster, and he ends up attacking and trying to save everybody from the giant monster, and ends up knocking himself out, and hence then lies the dream scene. So he falls asleep and he has a dream about Dulcinea, and there's Cupid and all of the dryads are there. So there's the queen of the dryads, and it's a beautiful classical ballet scene. Act 3 starts, and they're still on the chase, and they end up in a tavern. Gamache, the father, and Don Quixote catch up to the tavern and find Basilio and Quixote in the tavern. And again, the father wants nothing to do with this arrangement, and he decides, you know, to break up and say, "You're going to marry Gamache." Finally, Basilio has had it, and he comes in with his razor blade, and he says, "I can't take this anymore." It's a big dramatic scene. He's saying, "Quixote, like, how can you be doing this? You're kissing on Gamache, and you're supposed to be my love." And he says, "That's it. I'm gonna end it." And he stabs himself. Don Quixote insists that Quixote and Basilio must be able to wed and be happy and marry, and convinces the father, and the father finally gives in and is convinced and gives his blessing, and then miraculously Basilio stands up and he's alive. And then everyone's happy, and we have a wedding. And all the characters come back through and congratulate Basilio, and are there, Basilio and Quixote, and are there for the wedding and celebrate the wedding, and then everyone lives happily ever after.